It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was horn. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among our, for what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
Your feet. He looked down, seen her feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously. Can you?
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Dance with me. Dance with me. Dance with me.
TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me want it. Where's all that noise? Where's all that noise? Where's all that noise?
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
Doing the styles on them like it's common sense. Doing the styles on them like it's common sense. My word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard.
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd.
That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is. That's the difference when you're my. That's the difference when you're my baby.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loop juice and pulls up in the. Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loop juice and pulls up in the.
Lean and buck, lean buck. Lean and buck, lean buck, lean and buck, lean.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode, because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out.
Lean and
Humpback.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, that's my motherfucking cue to come on in, and you know how I start. Tonight we have ambrosia from the gods. My boy in Miami used to call it the Rob from God. We got the Rob from God, which comes from Great Lakes, Elliott Nest. We got them from ambrosia. So pop them if you got them. Oh, look at that amber. Look at that golden rich amber that I have and you don't. Because odds of you drinking Elliott Ness right now are very low. And you look at me, and as I look at me, I wonder why and think that you wish you could be me right now. You really wish you could be me right now, just sitting here on this holy grounds, on this time, in this spot, drinking this good shit. Since I don't use the Luca that often, it died on me. But, I've got plenty of these vegan gummies. So Smoke them if you got them. I do have a joint, but I don't really feel like smoking it. I've got high enough on these gummies. Oh, gear. Let me show you the gear. I was gonna wear it and then peel it off, you know, but this motherfucker's too hot. But yeah, got this new gear today. This is Nike, you know, this is Nike gear. Vikings Nike. Yeah, you see the Nike shit. This is Vikings Nike. What's this? Oh, Nike on one arm, the NFL's on the other arm. This is definitely stiff. And what was they gonna in the stores or what was the original price of this shit? Tags on here somewhere. Oh, down here. So originally this shit was $100. Originally this is on field apparel. This was $100. And again, it's Nike, and I tend to pick up everything Nike, and I paid what, 24? Like we don't have taxes on clothes, so that's all I paid. So this is stiff, and it's thick and it's waterproof, but Nike. And as I said before, you know, when you go to a place like TJ Maxx or you go to Marshall's, if you only see one of a kind, ain't no too many people gonna have that merchandise. So this was only $25. I got 2 pair of drawers. I think the drawers was $3 a piece. so we'll have to show the gear off. We about to get a big ass storm tomorrow night, and then we're gonna get a fucking it's supposed to be in the 30s this weekend, so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So what's happening to everybody tonight? My main man from Japan is in here, Mr. PJ Allen. And I know you always take care of yours.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And I know you definitely got
to have vision.
And we got Big Stank. What's happening? And I know you got to have
vision.
And then we got but yeah, Vikings definitely did it. El Dragon Amaroon Khan. What's happening? And I know you got to have vision.
Got to have vision.
Well, thank you, PJ. You know, I had to break because the receiver wears this now, but you know, that's what they do. Well, player leaves, they fill that number up quick because they use the energy too. That's why a lot of people the same numbers. But anyway, I had to bring the cook back out because, you know, from them winning, and they was giving up 7. Remember, they was giving up 7 tonight. So that's why I took that shit. So that put me at, excuse me, for the week, I was 6-7. The Vikings victory for the week puts me at 6-7. So I got to put all the weeks together. I think I've done every week. Hopefully I did every week. Yeah, I think I did. So I'll put together what I am all together. So, yeah, I think Lobo made some good points. It's funny. Purdy is Jimmy G. Like when Jimmy G was younger before he got that first injury, that's Purdy. It's like you could see that's what they were looking for, and that's why they brought Purdy in. Purdy is Jimmy G. Like they said, his arm still, but some of them interceptions, I don't know what he was reading. I really don't. I don't know what he was reading to some of them interceptions. And Cousins, for a change, didn't get sacked a lot and just laid there. But did you see how they did? This is how they set. You see how they set it up. So Cousins interceptions, the dude takes it from Cousins, right? Or takes it from the receiver. Number 3, he takes it from him, right? It's kind of, like we saw that yesterday too. We saw a couple ties. And they gave a touchdown. Maybe it was Pittsburgh, and they was tied in the end zone, and maybe Pittsburgh got the touchdown. But anyway, we saw the defender take the ball from the offensive player. And then what did we see on the touchdown? We see the exact opposite. We see the offensive player snatch it from the defensive player and run, and run. So I was like, yeah, that was kind of bogus. That was kind of bogus. Both Purdy's interceptions, I don't know. San Francisco, in a lot of ways, is pretty one-dimensional if they don't have a running game going. Their defense isn't bad, but I mean, you ain't sacked Cousins all day. Everybody else in the NFL sack Cousins. It's people that drive by his house just to sack him. His wife's like, come on in. He's in the couch. Go sack his ass. I mean, he just constantly gets sacked. Tonight, he didn't get sacked. So that should tell you something right there, that he didn't get sacked. And we know he can throw the peel, you know. The running plays seem very stupid sometimes when the Vikings would run. I mean, you know, like like nobody would hit some of them linemen. It's like the offensive lineman just got out the way and let the defensive player. Like the back didn't even have a chance sometimes. I thought that was odd too. I was like, wait, why did you even call that play? And then they tried to do the push play, you know, and the dude jumps over, you know, and lands on top of Cousins. I was like, yeah, that was pretty stupid. One of the weakest quarterbacks in the league fires running ability, and you're gonna ask him to do a push where he got to stay low and everybody pushes. Yeah, that he's not built for that. He's not built to. Oh, OTF, what's happening?
Got to have vision.
Told you Rangers. Yes, Rangers. Look, did y'all watch? Man, what was it? A home run? Was it a home run in the first inning? I mean, but that one brother that plays, I think he plays right field. He's a bad dude. That brother, what, he hit 2 home runs tonight? 1 or 2? He had 2 home runs tonight, didn't he? And they got the pitching. They gonna have the pitching. They got, you know, Rangers got good pitching, so they look good all around tonight. Their pitchers, you know, came through. It was a good game. It was a real good game. Astros lost. Yeah. Hey, CWE, what's happening?
Got to have vision.
Oh, it's something I forgot to mention.
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Every time I'm seen, what?
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Every time I'm seen, I got to be clean. Yeah, so Adalis, yeah, Adalis is a bad boy. Adalis is a bad boy. Like that one he hit the other day where he carried the bat damn near the first base, and he was just like watching that motherfucker just keep floating. He carried the base. And then that's when they hit him the next time. That's when the dude got put out. Matter of fact, dude, I think is going to be out next year. He's going to be out of the first game next year because he got put out for 2-day games, I think, for hitting him with the ball. So, but yeah, Adalis is bad. That's a bad boy. That is a bad boy. He destroyed him. Dusty Baker's retiring. Well, you know, they gave Dusty a championship after all them losses of him being there. And when he had that Washington team, it was no way they should have lost. They had such a good team. He had all them pitchers at their peak, and they end up losing. I was like, yeah, this is some bullshit. And then a couple years later, they let him win. You know, they let Washington finally win. So, I don't know. Sometime it'd be some bullshit. But we'll have Game 7 tomorrow, so don't forget, it'll be Game 7 tomorrow. We have the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks, and I should know this, Diamondbacks and somebody else. Phillies. Diamondbacks and Phillies. Diamondbacks and Phillies. Game 7. That should be a hell of a game tomorrow night. Beat Buzz. What's happening? Yeah, Buzz. Beat Buzz. What's happening?
Got to have vision.
Definitely. They did a repeat of 2019 World Series script where Shelter beats Strohs and Minute Maid in Game 7. That's a good point. That's a good point. Dusty was given a team that was good already. But that team he had in Washington was a good team. That team was a good team, and that team should have won the World Series, and they didn't. And that was I don't know. Matters Mac lost a lot of money. Matters Mac lost a lot of money. Okay. Hey, James, 3224, what's happening? And I know you got to have
vision.
so yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the pitching. I enjoyed the defense. You know, I enjoyed it. I enjoy watching baseball. I mean, again, it's all like a movie to me. You know, I look at it all as a movie. That's what it is. It's entertaining like a movie. Now, you know, the problem that a lot of people have is to get the emotionalism. You know, you get the emotionalism with the team, you know, and that's, you know, it's not like we don't get emotional with movies. You know, movies can make you emotional just as well. So that's kind of what it is. A little bit of emotionalism going on there. So, but yeah, so that it was a good day of, you know, and I watched the game. I was like, my daughter's, this is her, she does baton and shit. So this was her night to practice her solo routine. Yeah, we just spent $200 on outfit for her solar routine. I think another $200 on getting new batons. I had to get baton tape, but that's just part of the way it goes. But anyway, I started watching the game on taking her back home. You know, it's funny. I left. She's supposed to get done at 5:30, but she really didn't get done to about 5:40. When I left Rosemont, I had to go all the way back to Prior Lake, which is going southwest almost. You're almost straight west, but kind of southwest. And yeah, I didn't get home until 5:30. Yeah, I got home around 6:30, a little before 6:30. It was because I had to kind of pass my house to go to her house, you know, so to take her to her mom's. So, but we get to spend time together, so I don't mind. Yeah, they definitely did. The Vikings went in. Yeah. Hey, Brown Lee, what is happening? Thank you for joining. And I know you got to have vision. And just remember this about me.
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Every time I'm seen, I've got to be clean. Yes. But yeah, they put it on them. Yeah, I didn't even think about going to this game. But yeah, what's up, Brown Lee? Thank you for joining me. Yeah, you know what was interesting is I went out to the outlet. You know, I said about getting them, what did they call it? The fly knit, whatever shit, or vapors or whatever. But anyway, I was out there and I saw it was a few 49ers fans out there, you know, and probably at the Mall of America. It's always like when it's game days, the day before or earlier before the game, it'd be hundreds of fans that come in town that be out to the Mall of America. It'd be extra packed. Like that Friday, Saturday, you start seeing them come in and everybody goes to the mall. That's why when Zach asked me, he's going down to the Floyd, man. I'm like, everybody go to the mall, man. When motherfuckers come here, they go out there. And then you know somebody here, you really want to shop in there, you hit the outlet too. Because there's some shit at the outlet that ain't at the mall. So, and the outlet is like just what is that, south 15 minutes, if that, like 10 minutes. It's about 10 minutes. Because when I go to the Mall of America, I go to the outlets is first, and then the Mall of America is like near the airport. Well, the airport's a little further, but all that way. So yeah. Purdy is so-so. I agree. He is so-so. Yep, I agree. Purdy again. Purdy is the same as what's the quarterback name? I just called him Garoppolo. He's same as Garoppolo. I mean, if you look at his the way he throws the ball, the way his decision making, you can see why they wanted him. He's a lot like Garoppolo. If you watch his movements, even his release is a lot like Garoppolo. So they got a dude that ain't been hurt. And Garoppolo, you know, unfortunately, he got all that money and he got hurt. So, you know, so I don't know. Those interceptions was way off. But I tell you what, it didn't look like they missed Jefferson today, did they? That number 3 one, and you know that number 3 went through a little shamey ritual. You know, that little receiver went through a shamey ritual because they got him. He I guess apparently he bought one of the new vets and he was going like 110. So I know his driving, he got suspended for a minute. So I know he still probably ain't driving. But they kind of, you know, patted him on the back. Just gave him a little like, nigga, you can't drive for a few months. That's what they gave him. But what do they say? What is the saying? It is better to be shamed than to be killed. And that's, when we look at oh, I want to see if I can find this. I want to see if I can find this. Okay, I forgot about this. Let's see. Let me see. Shit. Yeah. This is it. And I know other people have showed this, but this is this nigga. And again, it's better to be shamed than to be killed. Look who this is. That's Dion. That's Dion. See? And he all with it. With the dress, showing that ugly leg. But you see, it's better to be shamed than to be killed. But so let's not forget that this man, this man is with it. Anything for fame. And it's like he's so rich where he didn't even have to do none of this. Like he's really that rich where he didn't have to coach, do nothing, just kick back the rest of his life. But he put himself through this. So you wonder when you see him where he is now, this is why he's doing this. You dig? This is his shaming, but he's with it. You see, he's enthusiastic with the wig on and the dress. See how enthusiastic he is? He looked like Venus Williams a little bit, don't he? Don't he look like Venus Williams when she be putting the weave on? Yeah, this is some weird shit. Fuck him. You hear the end of the Rangers game. The announcer slips up and says, Rangers will go on to the World Series to play the Phillies. Then catches himself and says, yeah. They always, OTF, they always give away like that. Okay. Yeah, they always give away. Yeah, because I heard something like that. I've heard a slip like that the other day too. I was like, man, they try to catch themselves. But yeah, so we see why Dion is in the situation he's in now. It's no surprise that he's in that situation. So, the price of fame is hell, as I said before. Is this my girl? Oh, no, that's not her. And so, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Did y'all, what was the clip of, where is let me see if I can find this shit. And this is, this is debauchery in a new way, but let's see if I can find this. I'm not going to, I won't show the nigga's picture. I'm not going to play the story. Let me see if I can find this goofy. Oh, yeah. Did y'all see this? Okay, I'm gonna let this go during this game, but see if y'all saw this. Because they I don't even know what to say about it. But okay, did y'all catch this about Dwight Howard? Harper said he reached out to Howard with a direct message on Instagram. He said he sent his cell phone number, which he texted sexual stuff, and asked Harper to send him, photos. And this is Dwight Howard. Response, Howard said he exchanged texts with Harper between '01. Several included sexual content, such as photographs and videos. Ex-Star said Harper came over to his home on the 19th. Minute they went to the bedroom, and they were kissing. Wait. What did it say? What did it say? I missed it. He said the ex-NBA officer came over to his home. They went to the bedroom, removed their clothing, engaged in consensual kissing. Then Harper claimed Howard surprised him by bringing out a man dressed as a woman. He said the man called himself Kitty. In the complaint, Harper said Howard wanted a threesome with Kitty, but he resisted. He said Kitty started before him, you know. So big goofy ass Dwight Howard, to each his own, but it's just funny. It's just real funny. Everybody, knows all this shit can be recorded and over again. So it's like, why? Howard had to get his lining realigned. Some kind of way Dwight Howard's rectal lining got unaligned. So he had to go get it realigned. Yeah, got one of them fruity pebbles involved. Dwight. Oh well, when he had to get his lining realigned, that kind of told you something right there. He missed a couple games because, because you can't go. Howard live bears sus as fuck. Oh yeah, he been sus. Yeah, I agree. He been sus. Barry, that's right. He has been suspect. Yeah. And I must say, yeah, but I must say this, I must really say realignment, definitely a realignment. Skin grafts and shit, they had to take a little bit from inside the booty to bring it back, or, some kind of skin grafts to his booty. But, I want to say this. I think this is one time that we all are proud of the world. And when I say this proud of the world, we don't act in the way they think the program should act. And right now, the world is looking at everybody saying, we're not going to act the way you think we should act. We're revolting against this. We see the misdeeds you do, and we're not going to fall for it. Because it's funny, like all these conservatives went with them peoples. If y'all been listening, all the conservatives like, oh, it's so. But you see a lot of melanated folks saying, wait a minute, nah, this ain't right. What y'all doing to them ain't right. We have to shout out to all of them. We quit falling for it. There's a short clip of him, Dwight Howard, touching his team part. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he punches. There's a couple clips. He punches somebody in the dick. He punches somebody. And then the one you're talking about, it's a couple clips of him, grabbing somebody's meat. So, he was trying to tell it, he's down for whatever. Down for whatever. Down for whatever. Are you down for whatever? I'm definitely not down for whatever. White House designates Twin Cities as medical technology hub. And what does it say? Opens the possibility of what? Federal funding. Okay. I can dig it. Good. Not hardly any debauchery. Okay. Yeah, some of the shit's kind of funny, but I'm not going to show it, but it's funny. Game day guide. Well, I said I'm going to see New Orleans play for us getting married. We're going to on the 12th, I think. We're seeing New Orleans. I'm still up for granted if I want to drop like $300. It's going to be more than that, but to go see Christmas game with Detroit. And Detroit lost, so I don't know. I should call my friend and it's too late to call him. I'm not gonna call him. He'll think it's an emergency or something. But I'm gonna call that nigga and be like, hey, I just wanted to ask you, how does it feel to be a loser? Because they lost. And the Eagles beat the mugs too. So, it's like, how does it feel to be a loser? I always get on him. I meant to call him, but I forgot to call him. I always get him like that. But Like, yeah, don't feel too proud for too long, buddy. You know them lions gonna let you down. But again, you know, we see the way they script it. You know, we see the way they script it. You know, that's why they call it, you know, any given Sunday. You know, any given Sunday, they can script to make somebody look great. I mean, they tried to make the Jets look great. Ain't nothing great about the Jets. And they tried to make the Jets look great. And there's definitely nothing great about the Jets. Okay. Kirk Cousins. Do we want to hear Kirk Cousins? No, I don't think we do. Minnesota man turned a shopping cart into a go-kart. Oh, yeah. This dude rejected plea. That's right. That's right. The judge rejected these cats. I forgot about that. I might show that. Yeah, he rejected it. The judge was like, nah, fuck this plea. What's your thoughts of Timberwolves this season? I'm happy they kept Nas. If they can ever unload Rudy's contract, I don't know if anybody else be stupid enough to want Rudy. Rudy, it never made sense to get him. I mean, again, you know, they got Rudy over, I mean, you know, like it made no sense. You have Towns, and granted, you know, they've tried to push Towns as being an outside shooter. But and he's the biggest flopper. He goes to the hoop. He's the biggest, you know, goofy on the team, no doubt. He's the biggest goofy on the team. He always flops. He always fouls on purpose. But it made no sense because they don't play well together. Now, on defense, yes, if you're playing a team that penetrates, he helps. And if they don't have the baskets manipulated at the right times, yes, he can grab a bunch of rebounds, but that's it. He only scoring on tip ins. You know, you're not really running screen roll with him, and which we saw last year. They didn't run that with him. But with all that said, Ant's got that Michael Jordan Kobe shit. You know, they love the 6'6" dude. And that started with really started with Elgin Baylor. They've always really loved the 6'6" player. And Elgin, Michael, Dr. J, they all about 6'5", 6'6" cats. And Ant is about 6'6". Because my son is 6'5", and he's like, Ant was quite a bit taller than him. So my son's about 6'4", and he was like, Ant was about 2-3 inches taller than him. But yeah, Ant's a motherfucker. He's hard to deal with, and he puts a lot of, and that's where, you know, they put the shooters around him. I like when Nas is in there. I like when Nas is playing, and they got rid of Noel, which I didn't understand. And then Sacramento, you know, cut him. So I wouldn't be surprised they pick Noel back up because that dude is just buckets. So we'll see if they get him back. But Ant is unstoppable. And once Ant really gets going, and they like to giving him the script. And once the script is for him and they just let him go, I mean, he puts so much pressure where, you know, he can dish to Rudy. Rudy can follow up. So they're hard to deal with. Now it's going to be interesting because I see what would work more is Towns and Nas would work more. And then let Rudy just back up. Let Nas just back up Rudy. And if you want to play Towns at power forward, which is okay because if he's in a good shooting, you know, he can spread the floor too. And on defense, he does rebound when he doesn't foul on purpose. But Nas I like his game just overall. I like when Rudy goes out and Nas comes in, the team picks up. Because Nas runs the floor really well. Nas can D up with anybody. And he's become an outside threat as well. And he's even, you know, like Towns is really comfortable playing the 4, I think a little more with Niles than he is at Jabbar. Because they kind of can exchange positions. See, Rudy can't go out and looks like he's going to shoot the three. But when they bring Nas in, Nas and Towns both out there can interchange. So if Towns wants to go hard post, Nas can stay out, and he's a threat to, he can shoot a shot by himself. Pretty consistent from the three. So that's where I think they get a little better. And again, what they gave up for Rudy is the Lakers. I mean, it made no sense. It made no sense. That trade just shows you that they ain't really trying to win. Nobody in competitive basketball that really wanted to win would have bought Rudy here for all that money. They're probably locked into that contract. I mean, I don't know what stupid team would give him money. They overvalued him, but with that said, defensively, he can be, and it's different combinations that they put does work. So I think they should make the playoffs again. Or did they make it last year? Yeah, they made it last year. They made it the last 2 years. Yeah, they made it the last 2 years. So I think it's gonna be exciting for him. Yeah, I'll go. I went to only one game last year. Then I went to the high school tournament. I'm gonna go to the high school tournament again this year. But I'm gonna go to a couple of Timberwolves games. We're gonna go see. We didn't go to any baseball games. We didn't see the St. Paul Saints, and we didn't go see the Twins either. So, but we're definitely gonna go some Timberwolves games, and we're gonna go see some Wild games too. So, yeah. So I'll be doing that. For sure. Cause it's like people always like, man, get deals. Be like, hey, like this one dude is renting jerseys. If you go to a Wild hockey game and ain't got any hockey gear, you can rent his jersey. Big Stank. What'd you say? You glad? I feel you. I feel you. That was a bad trade. Yeah, it's a very bad trade to get Rudy. Yeah. Glad the Astros got beat. Me too. I am too. I got the Iowa hockey games. I go to the Iowa Wild. Oh, okay. Bad. I love all levels of hockey. But yeah, I would go to, like, well, up here, what they have that's really cool. And we had went after one of my nephew's games. We had went to it's on Lake Minnetonka. It's a bunch of restaurants, but it's this one restaurant that's really close to my brother-in-law's house. And we went out there, and when we went out there, it was what they have annually here is, like, we have the outdoor men's hockey championships here. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's like semi-pro, like they have semi-pro leagues where everybody plays outdoors. And then they have a big tournament here. And so when we went to this place on Lake Minnetonka, it was the opening day for that. They were having a concert. So we was in there. We was just going to dinner after the game. But all the people were in town and they was partying was because of this big hockey tournament. And I mean, this thing is so big that the high school teams participate. The college teams participate. It's televised. This thing is televised, because they don't televise a lot of the semi-pro teams, but they televise the high school guys. And so that's everybody participates playing outside. And I've said before, the first time I watched a hockey game was Western Michigan University, and they was playing outside. My father had a class, and my father had to go to the hockey game. And so we parked, and we walked up to where they was playing hockey. I can't really quite remember where they played outdoors, but I remember watching outdoors. That was the first time I saw a hockey game, was outdoors. And, until I think the mid 80s, Western played outdoors. So from like the 30s and 40s to like probably the mid 70s, they played hockey outdoors. I mean, look at that mug in hockey, like in the 50s, the goalie didn't even wear a mask. But I know some people ugly enough where, they wouldn't get hit with pucks. The puck would, it would not want to hit the ugly face. So, but yeah, if you look at that, but they've come a long way since then. What did y'all? I wonder if I should show this. That was bogus. That touchdown they took away was bogus against Iowa. That shit was so bogus. Shit, what is the judge? I don't want to listen to all that shit. This is going to be short. Oh, okay. Nicole B, what is happening? And I know you got
to have vision.
And you also got
Your shit. Get your hands off of me, shit.
Get your hands off of me, shit. That's to the ladies. That's Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek. Nicole, whatever her name is. She's really good in Chuck Taylor. Yes, a little bit of debauchery. I'm not gonna go up too long tonight. I'm kind of tired. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, but I did have to come in and gloat about the way the game went tonight. The game was really fun. I'm gonna show a little bit of debauchery. So we got some carjacking, and in the carjacking, they're trying to set up what they call a plea deal, because they don't really like going to court. That takes a lot of more money. It's cheaper just to plea, and that's what the system has kind of turned into. So here we go about the plea deal they tried to pull over, and the brother said,
So we've been following for years. A young man accused in an armed carjacking that turned deadly could now be headed to trial.
As part of a controversial plea deal, he would have avoided prison time. But in a rare move today, a judge said not so fast. Rob Olson joins us live from outside the courthouse tonight with details on this for us. Rob?
Yeah, Randy, plea deals are rarely rejected, which is why this one came as a big surprise to all sides in this courtroom today, especially since this was a plea deal hearing that went on for hours with statements from the family of the victim, from the man who was set to accept this plea deal, from the prosecution, from the defense, but the judge laying out his reasonings why he decided to toss this out, which is exactly what the family of Stephen Markey had been begging for.
It doesn't make sense to our family at all.
One by one, 6 members of the family of Steve Markey, who was murdered in an attempted carjacking in Minneapolis 4 years ago, bared their mix of anger and grief in a Hennepin County courtroom.
The person who cold-bloodedly murdered my son is getting off with probation. And why? Because he's a whole new man.
Begging the judge to reject the plea deal that would have put 20-year-old Hussein Braveheart on probation instead of nearly 22 years in prison for aiding and abetting murder.
My reaction to the plea agreement: we are witnesses to the collapse of the Hennepin County Attorney's Office.
Loudly criticizing Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty, and through tears calling this plea deal a disgrace to the justice system.
I know judges don't often reject negotiated pleas, but this is the negotiated plea to reject.
Moriarty's office had justified the deal, saying Braveheart was a lesser part of the crime, that he was an accomplice that day in 2019, and that he had made progress in rehabilitation.
I apologize for not being a better person that day. If I could take my actions back, I would, in a heartbeat.
But the judge said Braveheart also fired shots at Markey, that he supplied the guns, and he cast doubt on his actual progress while in custody.
I am not accepting Mr. Braveheart's guilty plea at this time.
Markey's family afterwards admitted being very surprised because plea deals are so rarely rejected. And while this is what they wanted, they know it's a case that is now far from over.
I would be very surprised if it isn't a trial, and we will get through each day of the trial just the way we've gotten through each day of this.
There is now an omnibus hearing. That is a pretrial evidentiary hearing scheduled for December, which would then, at that point, set a date for a future trial, unless there's a new plea deal that comes up between now and then. In a statement from the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, they said, not surprisingly, that they disagreed with the judge's decision. decision that while on a probationary status, Braveheart would continue to get intensive treatment. They wouldn't get that if he went to prison and would likely come out of prison worse off than when he went in. So that's why they...
I see, that's some bullshit. That is some bullshit, man. You know, he had a face that looked like a meth face. He had all them pop marks on his face looked like meth.
The guns, and he cast doubt on his actual progress.
That was all meth face. So he was on meth as a young person. Like, look at this picture. This dude, let me see, I didn't freeze it. Be bullshitting. But this dude had a serious meth face. Like, damn, when he was younger, it's like, this mug, this is what drove them to try to jack. I mean, look at this meth face. He was doing meth. You know, they be picking at their face. They get high and they pick at their face. So he was getting high as a young person. Look at this. They smoke meth and they pick at their face. See, this is all the signs of meth. It's like, you know, it's a tweak that meth people be doing. It's kind of a way they tweak. They start picking their faces and shit. So, you know, hey, they tried to, the family, they had some bread, so they tried to get over on one. And the people was like, wait a minute. Oh, did y'all see, was this here? Oh, this is here. Check this out. Yeah, I'll show this. Definitely show this. Ooh, it's kicking in. Ooh, it's like, ooh. Today I'm a purple people eater. You know, that's what the Vikings used to be called, the purple people eaters. Here we go. Here's in town. And I'm going to let them tell it. It's a little bit of, let it go. Here we go.
Investigating after a car drove through a pro-Palestinian rally this afternoon.
No injuries have been reported and no arrests have been made, but video of the incident is spreading on social media. It all happened around 3:30 near Loring Park, and that's where we find our Courtney Godfrey tonight. Courtney, you talked to a witness. You have some of the details of what occurred.
Yeah, I did, Randy. Protesters shut down Lyndale Avenue here along the Sculpture Garden when allegedly a driver pushed through the crowd. At one point, that driver wielding a knife.
Hold up. He not going nowhere now.
Cell phone video captures the moment a car drives through a pro-Palestine protest in Minneapolis. Witnesses describing how the white sedan drove through protesters who were blocking Lyndale Avenue this afternoon before getting stopped by a blockade of cars a little further down the road near the Walker Arts Center.
He gets back in the car. He hits a car, hits some more people, not enough to like harm people, but just bumping them out of the way. Pinning some people up against other vehicles, and then that's where my video starts. He's flying. He probably reaches 60.
I showed this last night. Okay, this is the shit from last night. Okay.
Shot the video you see here and says,
they running at the Capitol.
Out of the car wielding a knife, but then retreated back inside.
Go get him.
Kind of confused.
I know I showed this yesterday.
Some people wanted him just like.
Okay, I showed this bullshit yesterday. So you know, is this the conflict? You know, the one that, you know, they say the colonizers. And it's, again, you know, when we look at this thing, it's funny how they just thought, hey, everybody would just jump on their side. Wasn't like that, huh? It's one time the world said, wait a minute, you done tricked us one too many times. We know how treacherous people are. And we see the treachery that's going on. Yeah, tweak bags, exactly. San Francisco drops to 5-2 by losing to Minnesota. Minnesota is a 5-2 in geometry. That is my main man, Lorenzo. What's happening, Lorenzo? Thank you for coming. And I know you definitely got to have vision. Yeah, they let them, and it's like, yeah, and they don't. I mean, it hurt them. They lost that lineman, that young lineman. I think they ended up putting him on injury reserve. Number 0, he had a decent game last week. They didn't really miss him. And but you know, the tell was that Cousins didn't get sacked. I mean, that when he doesn't get sacked, and you got Bosa knocking people down. I mean, you can just run over people and get the running back, but you can't get Cousins. When he threw the touchdown, how did he get away? It's like he kind of got out the way and stepped up. You know? Yeah. And so, I don't know. Sometimes it'd be suspect. It'd be looking suspect. Let's see. Which one is this one? Oh, I can probably play that. This ain't the one, though. This ain't the one. No, it must be the other one. Thought it was that. It don't show. Thought it showed when they was rushing and shit. It's the one. Let me see. Where he should have got sacked. Nah, it's the other one. It was the other one. I was right. It was the other one. Yeah, it was the other one. It was this one. Damn, it looked like they was about to sack his ass. And this one, maybe I just didn't shoot it. Yeah, the reverse where he snatched it. Now, I didn't get the one where Cousins should have got sacked and threw the touchdowns. I didn't get that one. Damn, I didn't get that one. Okay. All right.
Our top story tonight, Minneapolis police.
Okay, I don't care what they are doing. Another person drove through another parade. Man drives through Portland parade. Grand Floral Parade. Wow. People are crazy all over. It seems. Here's another. Check out this debauchery. Some kind of way they got lucky, but look at what they end up getting. On just getting a hotel.
A credit card thief led to a dangerous and disturbing discovery at a Maple Grove Airbnb.
A teen's booze-filled birthday party had something else, illegal automatic handguns. Fox 9's Rose Schmidt shows us what authorities found and why they are so concerned about it.
The guns were in backpacks, purses, above the furnace, in the walls, behind couches.
You have to see the images to believe them. 11 guns found at a Maple Grove Airbnb, including stashed in board games and a McDonald's bag.
Now, this is the fourth Airbnb incident involving guns that we had. 3 in St. Paul. We had one in Roseville.
Getting these weapons off the streets actually started with the search for a 17-year-old suspect from St. Paul. Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher says the repeat offender stole credit cards from a car in Shoreview last week and used them at Target.
Lo and behold, he had posted that he was having a birthday party.
Deputies learned the teen's mom had reserved an Airbnb in Maple Grove Saturday night, so they staked it out. More than 50 people between the ages of 15 and 21 were inside, along with alcohol and marijuana. Deputies have had contact with a majority of the party attendees before because they belong to a group that's been involved in auto thefts, carjackings, and shootings the last 2 years.
And actually, one of their members was knifed and killed at Harding High School.
The sheriff says the most unusual and troubling part of this Maple Grove incident is 7 of the guns recovered had what's called a switch or auto sear that allows them to fire fully automatic. Possession of a switch is a state and federal offense.
And an extended magazine of 33 rounds, which many of these guns had extended magazines, can be fired in 2 seconds or less.
Meanwhile, the 17-year-old fraud suspect was arrested. More party attendees could be charged if authorities can match fingerprints or DNA on the guns. And Fletcher believes the weapons were involved in other recent crimes, including a shooting at a St. Paul cemetery.
There were 130 casings found at that Oakland Cemetery shooting.
At the time this 17-year-old was arrested, he was out on bail for previous credit card fraud from August. So he's been booked in the juvenile detention center on this new credit card fraud charge.
Damn, so because he's a juvenile, they let him out. Because he's a juvenile, but like these are some kind of dummies. I mean, these are like some kind of dummies. How do you... Like, and I guess that's the difference between young cats and older cats. Older cats know how to move in silence. You know, like this dude is doing all this dirt and he's not moving in silence at all. He's doing the opposite. He's becoming more reckless. But it's like, you know, they got all this heat that they feel they need. All these young people feel they need all this heat with them. But they're moving recklessly. They all see it. They know the world sees it. That means your enemies could also see it. We can catch them all up in there. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to advertise, you know? And it looks like they rented a tree house. Did y'all notice that shit? The shit they say they rented, it looked like a fucking tree house, like in somebody's backyard. Look at this shit. Where was it? Right here. Yeah, this, they don't really tell you which one. Yeah, they don't really tell you which one. Grove City. And so it had to be up Minnetonka. I think they said Grove City, maybe. No, that's not due. But anyway, it's like that. These are some kind of dummies. Some kind of dummies. Don't know better. Couldn't stay out their own way. That's not a good way to move. You know, you making moves like that, and, you know, he's a scammer like that. You make silent moves. You don't make, you know, moves where you're waking up the whole city. Who's this family? Speak out, reject. Okay. Damn. Family finally remembers life of butcher killed in. What happened to the butcher? Butcher got killed in a crash? Wow. How the butcher die? Michigan high school students learn how to administer Narcan. Says I need to stand up. Yeah, I've been sitting about an hour. Oh shit, I didn't know about this one. Okay, here's a little bit of.
It's my sister's birthday.
Local debauchery. I didn't know about this. Unfortunate, I guess. That's what it really is. Here we go. Ooh. It's one of my favorites. She's starting off. One of my favorites. Here she goes. Let her tell the story.
Displaced. It happened early this morning. Our Barrett Leone joins us live. Barrett, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Shayla, you know, neighbors here at the Timberton neighborhood in Plymouth, they're in disbelief, but they're also grateful, especially after seeing the damage that this fire did overnight in the light of day. Now, the good news here is no one was hurt. And everyone got out okay, including the animals inside. Everyone is out safely. Now, WCCO crews were on scene last night. And as you can see in this video, the flame was massive and quickly spreading across the roof of the building. It happened around 12:30 this morning in the 15,000th block of 26th Avenue North. Multiple fire crews responded to the blaze, and Red Cross was also on scene. Plymouth Fire Battalion Chief Andy Etzel says all of the residents were outside the building once crews got there, which gave firefighters an advantage to fight the flame. It also gave peace of mind to nearby neighbors watching it all unfold.
Well, it helps us with the fire. It dials it down a little bit for us. We can slow things down and just kind of methodically put it out, work on putting it out.
It was sad. It was sad, and it was scary. Just thinking, though I knew almost right away they were all safe, so that helped.
Yeah.
Knowing nobody was in there, that helped a lot.
Now, the cause of fire is still under investigation. We did speak with one resident who was inside the townhome. While she didn't want to go on camera, she tells us and wants to express her gratitude for all of the first.
Damn. What could cause all that? What could cause all that? Oh, luckily nobody got hurt.
I have yet to.
What does it say? Invest a credit card. They do booze filled Aaron B would party with illegal guns. It's the same story. It's the same story. Okay. What did Lorenzo say? Since 2017, when the Astros won their World Series, they've tried, would have had 4 out of 7 World Series appearances. Rangers in gematria 74, and all is just reverse numbers for the Rangers. That's a good point. And like I said this about baseball wanted to put in the technology, and for some reason I don't really know. I don't really know why. Like, why didn't they just put in the technology they wanted? Why did they have to put this fake scam like they was hitting a trash can, taking video, when we already know all that stuff is going on anyway? So it's they try to say legitimize themselves when we know they're not legitimized. They've been unlegitimate when they started. It was started where they weren't legitimate. Especially, the owners having control. They've never been legitimate. And that's why, you look at all the other sports that came after, they already kind of had a blueprint of how the owners can take control of the players. I mean, people really forget that baseball players was almost the type of slave to a team. It was impossible to leave your team. That's why, if you study who Kurt Floyd is and how Kurt Floyd was the first one to challenge that, saying that they own us for life, that we can never leave them, because and they killed some people's careers like that. Because it was pretty much a clause where they owned you for life. They could send you down to the minors, they could do whatever they want with you, but you really couldn't. They could trade you no matter to anywhere. So baseball, it was the type of, you was getting paid to play, but once you played for a certain team, you was a slave to that team in baseball. It was impossible to quit. You could never quit a certain team. You was tied to that team. Okay. Let's stop that for a while. Might be oh, I didn't turn it on. So I haven't been going that long. It should be going. I have to get up and turn that mug on. I smell it though. Maybe it's psychosomatic. I know, but I don't see my little thing cooking back there. So yeah, it's better. All that fan on me. This room is really efficiently warm. It's really efficient. It gets warm in here. That's why I didn't want to put that jacket on. I was like, shit, I'd have been in here burning up with the jacket. But this is a fun time of year. Again, tomorrow, another game 7. And so it's tomorrow what's interesting is basketball starts. TBS is starting with the pro basketball. Those of you that have the NBA package, the games start. So basketball starts tomorrow. Hockey started 2 weeks ago. So this is a fun time of year where everything is pretty much going on. We have all the major sports going on at this type of year. So it's an exciting time. Exciting time of year for us. And, and if you bet on sports or, you bet on things, the parlays, the prop bets, that's all out there for you. And that's, if our work, any of the people's work that, attack the sports as being legitimate, if that can help anybody, any kind of betting or figuring out their system. Like I've said, I kind of looked at their system and I don't really do a deep. I just kind of almost top of my head is, but like I got this week, okay, I can kind of start adding up. I got 6 out of 7. The week before I went 10-3. So scratch that out. So 10-3. Let's see. Okay, I went 8-5. I lost my place. 8-5. And I didn't count there. So I went 8-5. Okay. 8-5. I didn't count this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 4. It's like another 8-5 there too. Okay. 10-3, another 8-5. I don't think I did enough games. That's too many games. What is that? 16. 32. That can't be right. 32 and what is this? 7, 10, 15. So I did week 7. This is week 6. This is 1 and 2. Oh, okay. No, keep going. Okay, this is week 5, 4, 3. Okay, I missed. No, that's it. That's all of them. Okay, yeah, that's all of them. I see. Okay, I see. I did them all. All right. So I didn't count this one either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Damn, that first week I went 11 and 2. I didn't even realize that. So add those. Okay. So I'll add them up. I'm wasting time. That's 11 more wins in there. 2, that put me at, what's that, 42? 42 and 3. Okay, I'll do it again. But yeah, it looks like I'm 42 and, what is it? 42 and 15. 42 and 18. Yeah, 42 and 18. I think is where I'm at. So, and that's not even, a deep handicap. That's just an average handicap. The Rangers have been playing in their new stadium since 2020. I remember that stadium was a host of the World Series during COVID. That's a good point. If the Phillies won the pennant tomorrow, there would be the 6th time since 18 that a team, no matter if they're from the National League East, will be featured in the World Series. That a team, no matter if they're from the National League East, will featured. Wow. Yeah, that I mean, it doesn't surprise me, the way they set all this up. That doesn't surprise me. That's good work. Thank you for adding that. Cousins couldn't throw anything in Washington. Yeah, Nicole. I'm sorry I missed that. Yeah, Cousins couldn't throw anything in Washington. At one play where he threw the touchdown where they really should have had him, and Troy Aikman was like, I don't know how he got out of that one. I was trying to see if I had recorded that, and I didn't record that play. But it was like they kind of like let him go. Keep going, little Kurt. Go ahead, throw it. Cause he's like it was some dudes, and I'm gonna try to look this up one day. But it was some little dudes that was like messing with old people. And they were Somalian children, and the Somalian children were harassing old people, not really hurting them. I think the first thing the first thing they show is a dude is riding a bike. Old man goes by the teenagers and they push him over. Now the old man, when you get pushed from a bike, all you got to do is just spread your legs and you stay up. The old man doesn't spread his legs and he just falls over. So it looked kind of staged, but then, the guys laugh, and they were doing stuff like, well, the guy didn't get hurt. He didn't get hurt. I mean, I don't think there was really a way even the way he landed, like straight, like, didn't leave just straight down, boom, he still didn't get hurt. Makes me think about, there's a video where a dude is, he's working on his car, trying to change a tire, and out of nowhere, a guy comes with a bike and runs into him, and he really is shaking up, and it's so funny. It's so funny. My son always sends that to me, but it's really so funny. He's like, "How come you do that?" It was a dude from the Middle East. He's like, "How come you do that?" And the guy was like, "What? Run me over with the bike." The guy didn't see him coming, and the guy just like, boom, wiped out right into the guy. So, if the Phillies won the pennant tomorrow, it would be the 6th straight time since 18. Oh, okay. Featured in the World Series. Okay. I think Philly's going to be in the World Series. Like somebody else wrote that they kind of slipped in the announcers. I think it just is. I just think it's going to be more marketable for Philly to be in than the Diamondbacks. Because Diamondbacks go in, it's more just a Western thing. It's not East-West kind of. It's just Western. I don't think they're going to go with that. But we'll see. But I doubt it. I think the Phillies are going to win. I was surprised they didn't, that they're going into a Game 7, though. I'm really surprised. After the hitting the Phillies had the other night, I was very surprised. But we'll see how that turns out. Should be good. It's good entertainment so far. And that's all we ask for, is that the entertainment be good. What is this? Oh, yeah, they hired a new police commissioner up here. Oh, and they're interviewing the lady. Wow, just propaganda. There's so much propaganda out here. It's so much propaganda. It's hard to, and we we're tied to these machines constantly. We're tied to watching these machines, relying on these machines. I mean, these machines are the best at telling us where to go. I mean, the other day I had took my daughter to the wrong place. I took her to one place thinking, that's where it was, and it wasn't. But you can look at the thing and the thing can tell you where to go. It's like, okay, I'm right around the corner. Found where I was going. No matter they was from the National League, Eastern League, it'd be featured in the World Series. Yeah, okay, but how they give it to teams that play in new stadiums? Well, yeah, I mean, look at how they get to Super Bowls. You build a new stadium, you get a Super Bowl pretty quick after you build a new stadium. I mean, look at what they did in the beginning. The Super Bowl. Remember, they did an experiment. What year was that? Because that was Peyton Manning's Super Bowl. Was that the Super Bowl where Tony and Peyton Manning won? Where they was outside. They played the Super Bowl outside in New Jersey when they built that the new Meadowlands, when they built the new one. Not the one I got to play in, but the new one that's there now. Remember, it was outdoors. They had the Super Bowl because the first Super Bowls was all in, warm places. Tulane Stadium, Cotton Bowl, Rose Bowl. I mean, it was always in warm places. And so they was always complaining. And remember, I think it was Peyton Manning's. One of the Super Bowls was held in New Jersey. And luckily, the weather was cool. Wasn't terrible. But when Detroit first built the Ford, they end up getting a Super Bowl. When Ford Field first got built, it was a year or two after. I mean, they cleaned Detroit up like a bug. We was down there. We was down there hustling from the parking lot and shit. But it was they cleaned Detroit up. They had fire pits everywhere where it's fire. You could get warm where you walk from event to event. But it was cold as hell, that Super Bowl. Really cold down there. But that's what they do. Yeah, you get a new stadium, you get a Super Bowl. Super Bowl, I think the Super Bowl's coming back here. We're getting Super Bowl. I just heard it. We're getting like 29 maybe? 28? Yeah, we're getting another Super Bowl here. You know how they like to give it to teams that play. Yeah. Broncos versus Seahawks in Jersey. Oh, that's what it was. Broncos and Seahawks in Jersey. Okay. In Jersey. Thank you. Broncos and Seahawks. Okay. Yeah, and they got lucky that the weather just was modest. The weather was, it was cold, but it was mild. And so they don't want to really do that. They don't want to be in them cold spots because, again, it's when you're outdoor, you're able to achieve a little more in the way people can move. But like when they had the Super Bowl here, they had the Super Bowl here in February. And so, weather was not harsh as it has been in years. Some years, the weather's harsh, but some years, it's not. But yeah, they're going to bring it here in the next 5-6 years. It's going to be here again. So yeah, the newer the stadium, they host them. They let everybody get that bread. That's $1 billion weekend. So you want a part of that $1 billion. So it ain't just the advertisement, it's the city, the city's buzz. I mean, just like a pro game, all the bread that the pro game makes, it's a lot of, a lot of like you just say if you just was a moderate hustler, and the pros come in, people want weed, you kind of, you're plugged into that kind of thing where people come in that you can give them weed to before, weed is really legal. It's not quite really legal, but it's freely moving. But it's like, this would be a weekend that you could make a little money, Yeah. So a lot of people come in, and it's like people wonder about the college teams and why you see the same college teams over and over again. And if you look at how teams travel, and there's a list of the teams that travel with the most bread to these other cities. So that's why you see these same teams, because these teams can pay when they can bring a bunch of fans with them, and they go into these cities. So that's why you don't see a Bowie State and these smaller colleges that ain't gonna be able to bring in a bunch of bread to go to these semifinal games. They just don't generate, that much bread. So that's why you see the same schools. Because the school's fan base, the way they travel, they know how much they spend. Historically, they know how much everybody has spent. So, that's part of it. That's part of it, is how well their fans travel. And that is considered. So that is a real thing. And that's why it's a repeat every time of the same people, same teams. And I wouldn't be surprised, like I showed, Deion wearing the dress. Like now you see like all their fame and attention, and it's, it's positive in some ways. It's not just a totally negative thing. I mean, you have to do what you have to do, I guess, to get in that position. A lot of men didn't have to wear the dress to coach college football, but Deion wanted to be more. I think he had other ambitions. I think he did get into music, so he probably was looking at some other ambitions, but he showed the world he was down for whatever. I mean, the way he was raised, you would have never thought that he would put on a wig, put on a tutu, and sing like a virgin. It's like, why would you sign up for any can you imagine when you got the pitch of the show, and the show told you, well, it's a possibility you might have to put on a wig and a dress and sing a very feminine song like you're a woman. I would have probably had to step out and say, I don't think this is for me. Thank you very much. But Deion apparently was down for whatever. So when you're down for whatever, don't be surprised at their success. But it just makes you wonder when he first went into them rooms. Makes you wonder, and I don't know I didn't hear a lot about him like I've heard about others. He's a few years younger than me. So, but it's not a good look, but that's what it is. That's what it is. And I don't know, I just in a way feel proud of the world. I really do. Just the certain people made the right response. And what's good is that people had two separate responses instead of everybody having one hive mind. And that's what usually happens when they create these events. And America is very good at trying to have a hive mind, even though they say they're not like Russia, they say they're not like China. But America is also very good at giving off the hive mind. And that's why I'm, like catchphrases and statement, between statement ad words that people say all the time, like, you know what I'm saying, drive me nuts, because it's a hive kind of thinking that people say without even realizing it. It's part of their articulation. And they don't even notice that, and it's a break. People say it as a break. People like, I'm saying so much, break. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. I need a break. You know what I'm saying? That's how, people articulate. Instead of people just being able to spit it out like me. I try to not say, That was the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning's Broncos did make it, but the Seahawks showed why they're called the Legion of Boom. Okay, it was the cold one. I remember it was Manning. Since the playoff in the near future ain't gonna be new different. Yeah, the extensions of the playoffs. Well, they're gonna add more games too. They're gonna have the Super Bowl. I mean, the Super Bowl is going into February. March. I mean, eventually, because I remember the Super Bowl I think the first ones was in December. And then normally the Super Bowls came on like almost my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law's birthday. Like 2 or 3 years, they came like right on his birthday. So it was like, okay, the Super Bowl's going to be this time. No, it kept going and kept going. Now it's in February. And they add another game. That means the week is going to have to, because they're trying to get 18 games. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they want. They want to get 18 games in there. So, but we'll see. We'll see if that's hard. I mean, it's hard. But if you look at, I've said it before, the Duluth Eskimos, they played, I got to look that stat up, but they played something like 100 games one season and played all over the country. Again, there's certain parts in Duluth you couldn't play, but they would barnstorm and play. And so that's tough to travel and have to play that many games in a season. And old time football, it's a lot of stuff that goes today you couldn't do. It's a lot of stuff they let loose. I mean, remember, you can look up where Larry Hale, tackles Terry Bradshaw, and he pretty much picks him up and slams him on his head. I think that's still out there. Let me see. That's out there. Let's see. Larry. Yeah. Slamming. Terry Bradshaw. See if that'll bring it to me. Is this the one? Oh, this is the one. I mean, football. And this was legal. This kind of shit used to be legal. Look at this. Power drives him. He power drives him. Look at that. It's like he has him in his grasp. And again, he's trying to hurt him. He's trying to hurt him. And that's what I say about hurting people on purpose. He's definitely trying to hurt him. So right here, why didn't he just knock him down? Why does he have to pick him up off his feet? Slams him. Man, look at this. Wow. Look right there. Late hit. Look at that. Going after his legs. Late hit. He's out of bounds. Late hit. So that's, old time football. They can do them like the old time footballs where they could roll block on you, like go like a crab and then roll into your leg when you're not looking. Called a roll block. Yeah, a lot of the stuff you can't do no more. But highlight Mayak, thank you for your. I thought this one with him and Larry. Let me see. No, they say Joe Turkey Jones. Joe Turkey Jones is the one that slammed him. Okay. Joe Turkey Jones slamming Terry Bradshaw. Oh, that was his name, Joe Turkey Jones. Yeah, I thought that was Larry Yale. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Looks like he kills him. Oh. And y'all redeem yourself 2 years later and send Peyton Manning out on top. Yeah, that's what they did. But the Super Bowl against the Legion was crazy. Yeah. I'm talking about college football playoffs. They given to be extending it from 4 to 12. Wow, that's cool. That was Super Bowl. Okay, the extension of playoffs is near future. Gonna well, but keep that in mind. It's gonna be the 12. That's the richer schools still. Um, I they could really they could like really what the other schools really should do is almost do like what the National Football League did. I don't even know if certain schools need to compete for the Division One. I don't see why they wouldn't do their own thing. But if you're going to stay in Division One, and this is the rules we are going under, and certain schools won't ever reach those 12. I would just like a system where those other schools that are the mid majors would have a real chance. That's my only argument. Like in the college system, 60 some teams make it. Now I know football that's kind of hard because 30 games is a lot for football. Football is to have more games, extended season is a lot because most playoff games they out of school. They've been out of school almost a month. When all these games is over and they go back, it's a new semester. So they haven't played in weeks or a month. So when they play some of these games, but so I don't know. I mean, some people say make the regular season less important. It's kind of hard to call that to me, because again, extending the games. It's like the NFL schedule. What is it, 23 games now, 24 games, something like that. If you win it all. The extra games you would play, something like that. So yeah. Wow, that was. And this one where what was his name? I can almost think of the dude's name who hurt Joe Montana. The Giants was playing San Francisco. Jim Burt maybe was his name. He put Joe Montana out. And remember the dude from the Ravens, the heavy dude from the Ravens that played tackle, that they used to have him talk, do analyzing, but he took out Richard Gannon's knees. Remember that? Took out Gannon's knees when Gannon was the league's MVP. And in the playoff, that guy took out Gannon's knees. And they didn't make it, they didn't, change that rule until it happened to Brady. But what that dude did to Gannon, he was down on the ground and he just went straight at his knee. Put him out the game on purpose. So the Raiders wouldn't have a chance. Tony Salucci, Tony something. But yeah, you can look that up. But again, when it was done to Gannon, they didn't outrule it. When it was done to Brady, that's when they outruled that rule. That's when they made him stop using it. What pants am I wearing? I don't know. But, I know which one I'm wearing. They're comfortable. Okay. I know I just washed everything. I'm like, wow, I got these on. Because I just washed everything. That's why I have these on. Oh, let me see if I can catch this. Y'all been following this. Where am I at? Yeah, here's this. All right. Let me see. Y'all been following this shit here. This gold shit is going. So this says 500 grams is 33,000. 10 ounce, 1 ounce is 2,200 per gram. Here it's 91. They got the half gram at 40, so 90. And let's get the base price. Closed at Let's see here. Silver, 65 per gram. Okay, closed at 65 per gram. Okay. What's messed up in this state? In this state, I can't buy gold from all these people. I have to buy from a dealer, and like where it shows 92, see, that's a markup. They showing you that if you trade gold, you can trade it at 65. You see here where, see, this is all a markup. And this is how the local people, they would sell it where I'm at. They sell it like this. I can't send, this state doesn't allow you to send for gold. You can't have gold mailed in. You've got to buy it through these gold brokers. I can go to Michigan and, have gold sent to me, but not here. I can't have it sent to me here. So, and what did we have here? What did we got today? Price US per ounce, different. What? Nothing shows just the price today. Because it was up. Okay, here we go, right here. Yeah, 1976. 1976 per ounce. Palladium is 1,200. See, platinum is way cheaper. Right now, you could get a nice rush on platinum. Platinum's only 1,000. Silver today is up at 23. They think this is going to go up to 2,000 or more because of the war. So, gram price 60. Again, you can trade like this. Even though I couldn't buy it, I could still trade it and get accounts and get it sent to accounts like this. It's the best way. Whole kilo of it is 63 grand. Oh, the penny weight. Oh, penny weight pays better. This is what most pawn shops use. They use penny weight. And as you see, the penny weight's going to pay you more than the gram. So if you're trying to sell gold and they're doing penny weight, this is what you're going to get. If they're, giving gold, they're going on the gold, it's 63. So pawn shops might be a better place right now because you'll be able to get this 98. And, they're always trading. The stocks are really never closed. That's why they're still giving you numbers and shit, because this shit really is never turned off. You can always buy it. So, but this is, again, I don't benefit. I just follow this shit. And, I buy gold. And it ain't going nowhere. And it's always been worth something. It ain't never not been worth something. It ain't never been. And, they took off everybody's gold. If you guys remember. Dry throat. In 1933, they took everybody's gold. Roosevelt. And said you had to replace your gold with greenbacks. Unless you was a jeweler. Of course, if you worked in gold, you was a jeweler. But if you wasn't a jeweler, you couldn't, like, even if you had safety deposit box, they would get subpoenas and go into the safety deposit boxes and take all your gold. It was illegal to have but so much gold. He made everybody depend on the dollars. Which is bogus, it's really bogus. And that, everybody knows the Constitution says we should trade in gold and silver. What's cool is people forget about like you watch some westerns and shit. They go to bars and motherfuckers just everybody got gold. Ain't nobody got nothing but gold, and especially motherfuckers had gold dust. So, the saloon to be able to, tell how much gold dust it took for the drinks and shit. Y'all remember that shit when niggas just have a little thing of gold dust when they eating shit and he'd pay everything with gold dust? Do y'all remember that? They have cowboy movies that show you kind of how they used to do things. Motherfucker hit big in gold, then they end up getting murdered. Steal their claims. Yeah, when you gave up safety the first 12 seconds of the game, that was a replay of Super Bowl 21 when John Elway did an 8-step drop in the end zone and got sacked for the safety. Did you see Islam versus? No, not really, Drew. What's happening, Drew? Thank you for joining. I haven't even watched the replays. You got to have vision. And it was with all the football, so I didn't see it, and I haven't watched the replay. No, yeah, Lorenzo, I made a video about that. Like I made a video where Elway just keeps dropping back, dropping back, dropping back, dropping back, and it's like I kept saying like throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it, but no, he just keeps dropping back. And that's why he was rewarded with 2. He lost 3. Didn't Elway lose 3 Super Bowls? He got blowed out by Doug Williams. Doug Williams, threw 6 touchdowns on him, 5, something like that, against that Denver team. And so they finally let John Elway get some because he had lost, I think, 3. And look at Jim Kelly. They never let Jim Kelly win one. Like we saw a few field goals messed it with today. That for dude's first kick, they definitely made him miss. Then the extra point they made miss. And then when he kicked it where they would have been up by 5, I think, or 8. They'd have been up by 8. And they didn't let him make that one. They kept that one. It was like, yeah, you saw how they manipulated some kicks. So that kick, was where the Bills had a chance to beat the Giants. That kick was definitely manipulated. And Elway Jim Kelly did his thing. That was Jim Kelly's best game. Jim Kelly put him in a position where he's supposed to bring him the money. He was only 40-some yards. I mean, Jim Kelly did his thing. And that was a good, those 4 years was hard to duplicate other than the Steelers. To dominate the AFC, back then. And one thing that they benefited from was definitely cold weather. One year, the 1 year they played, one year that Buffalo team played the Raiders. And they had always said how the Raiders didn't play good in the cold. So the Raiders just happened to lose where they didn't have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Raiders, but the Raiders had to play in Buffalo. I thought the Raiders had the better team. But Buffalo, that Jim Kelly team, again, they played better in the cold. And, everybody's ever played football. Eventually you play in the cold. So I don't know if that's an excuse, but that's an excuse they was saying. Like that cold game the Packers and the Cowboys played, when Bob Hayes wasn't catching a pass, he had put his hands in his pants. When it was a blocking play, he would put his hands in his pants. That's telling you, And when he would go out for a pass, he would keep his hands out. That's how cold it was because they didn't had to have the gloves. And people forget that the first type of gloves was almost like a scuba diving glove. Because it was a glove that was like a scuba diving glove that was slightly insulated. So your hands wouldn't get cold either. So it was like it would stop the ball and it stopped your hands from getting cold. Like scuba diving gloves. You go deep diving, your hands get cold. And them was some of the first type of gloves. Take these now. I'm sniffing and snorting. And all it's about now is we're gonna start betting on entertainment. Personally betting on your own. Like I say, I ain't trying to make no money off anybody. Whoops. So I couldn't stand cold games. Better yet, cold and rainy games. That's why I started liking them in the late 80s. Elway was your guy. I tell you what was the worst when I was a little boy. The pee-wee football wouldn't let us wear cleats. So if it rained or snowed, we had to wear tennis shoes. It was impossible to run, and it's just impossible. Now, when it snow and it ain't slushy, like it's just snow, then you're fine with tennis shoes. Actually, like even ice. Tennis shoes and ice, you're fine. Tennis shoes actually stick to ice. Like an icy grass field you're on tennis shoes. That's a famous game where the Giants, somebody got them some tennis shoes, and the tennis shoes had better grip during the ice field, so it won them the game. But that's a real thing. Tennis shoes can grip pretty good in snow, like just a light snowy field. Tennis shoes and ice, really good on ice. Tennis shoes are grip. But yeah, it's some. I was saying, I think I mentioned this the other night when we played Howard. We were supposed to play in RFK Stadium, but it rained, so they didn't want us to tear the field up because it was like our game, and then the Redskins was going to play that Sunday, and because it rained, they didn't let us play on their field, and we had to play on the practice field at Howard. That's what it looked like. I mean, it was little bitty. I don't even think the field we play on, it had to be a practice field because there were no stands or nothing. And it was like, again, I don't know Howard's, but it's like, it was in the back of Howard's campus. And it seemed like it was a river back there, if I remember right. It was like a river behind, like the field was there. And then there was a river like beyond, if I remember right. But, and so the field was horrible. It was hard. And as I've said before, they scored on us, but didn't get the extra point. My quarterback broke away, faked everybody out. He was running down the field by himself, about to get a touchdown, and the refs blew the whistle because they thought he had got tackled. And that cost us the game. And so it was raining. Like, that was the worst condition game of my college. I mean, it really was a horrible day of playing. It was really, I played a few cold games. Like, we played the end of the year when my last year when we was losing and shit, and it was cold. I think we played Tennessee State or something. That was probably the coldest college game I played in. But when we played up in the University of Richmond's field in November, it was actually a pretty decent day. Yeah, it was a pretty decent day because afterwards we was just in suits. Yeah, we was just in our suits afterwards. So it wasn't, suits and coats, it wasn't, overcoats. It was just suits. So the weather was, I think, still pretty decent. I don't quite remember. But yeah, that rain on a terrible field, raining on a terrible field is no fun. But I was little boy football. I played in a little bit of everything. Again, playing on the field with them tennis shoes that don't grip. They grip when it's dry, but not good. But you can still slip. But yeah, it's not fun at all. It's not fun at all. That was in the AFC Championship game during the '93 season. Arshell was the melanatic coach to coach in a conference championship game. How he get rewarded? Getting beat 51-3. Yeah. But he had won a couple as a player. But yeah, he's definitely shamed. He was definitely shamed. And it's funny, the game, like the way football and the way basketball looked at coaching. Well, no, football and baseball looked at coaching. It was like basketball did it in the late 60s with Bill Russell. It was like, I think it was 67, 68, and 69 season. He let Bill Russell be the coach. I don't think Frank Robertson became coach of Cleveland till the 70s. Like until the 70s. And like Art Shell, what is that? What year was that? That wasn't until the 90s. That was like 90. What'd you say, 90 season? 98? So, that's how long football waited to let a brother be a coach, was into the 90s. So that's some old boy network shit. Like the old days, the old time football, it'd be some horrible coaches that kept getting jobs. You're like, how do these dudes keep getting jobs? It's like people didn't like him here. What make you think they're gonna like him there? And you had like college coaches like a dude named Frank Cush. Look him up. He was, I told the story, when Bear Bryant was at Alabama and almost killed them boys, of dehydration. Frank Cush was like that. And he had recruited me. And it's like, yeah, I'm glad I dodged that bullet. They said I wasn't fast enough. In high school, my 40 wasn't fast enough. And so I'm glad I dodged that bullet because I got to, I look back on the letter, I'm like, this was Frank Kush. And Frank Kush was notorious for dogging players in that heat. So, yeah, I dodged that bullet. But it's not bad when it's hot. Playing when it's really hot. I practiced a lot when it was really, really hot. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I mean, long as you could stay hydrated, that was the thing. The games was easy to stay hydrated. Just practice. Every 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they give us some of that nasty ass Gatorade, the old Gatorade, not the Gatorade with all the sugar in it, the old Gatorade, where they just they take the hose and put the hose in, the cooler and fill it up with powder and throw ice in that shit. Tastes salty and shit. That's how Gatorade used to taste. It didn't taste sweet. Like you would see it and thinking, like when you would see Gatorade, you thinking Kool-Aid. You taste it, it don't taste nothing like Kool-Aid. And that's what they did. They made Gatorade have a Kool-Aid-ish taste. But remember, that's the middle thing, if you can dig it. You're looking at this shit and thinking red Kool-Aid, and it's like, ugh, I mean, drinkable, but it's got that, And I tasted that with my dad. Shit must have been, man, them cats were still getting caught up into Vietnam, so it had to be 68, 69 when my dad's, because them dudes had salt tablets too. People would take salt, pill of salt when it was hot, not to get cramps. And that was the first time I tasted that nasty ass Gatorade. I was like, ooh. So I was like maybe third grade. And that was before you didn't get it in stores. You didn't get it in stores. And people forget, when Gatorade was first in stores, it was in glass. You was getting Gatorade in the glass. Bear Bryant did that when he's at Texas A&M. Yeah, that movie. Yep, the Junction Boys. Yeah, they almost killed them boys and had to put all that ice on them. I mean, I don't know like where this came from. I'm not really sure where the myth came from that hydrating people. I mean, this is kind of what I grew up in. It was the myth that hydrating made you soft. Up until I would say up until my 10th grade year, a boy died that year. Then going into the next year, they started giving us water freely. But up until then, it was almost like you got water, you was soft if you needed water. That was the way they taught you. And that's how they talk to you. Oh, you don't need any water. If you need water, you're soft. They'd belittle you if you asked for water. That's how their thinking was. And that's the way they were taught. That getting hydrated, again, they don't, a lot of superstition. A lot of superstition. Despite a lot of them coaches having degrees and shit. Did my ears get bigger or something? Remember, it only was sold in glass. Yeah, it was. Oh, okay, you said it. Okay. Hey, Mr. 2U, thank you for joining. And just to say that, yeah, to remember that just in glass, yeah, you definitely got
to have vision.
But yeah, I used to be in glass. Yeah, I used to be in. We talked about the other one, the Dion. The Dion had when what's the other brand today? That stuff. There was a third one. Remember, it was a third one. In one show, somebody had came up with what the third one was. But it used to be 3 that made that stuff, not just 2 like we have today. And I'm not talking. I'm talking about the basic Gatorade kind of drink. Powerade, it was a third one. It was Gatorade, Powerade, and there was another one that Dion was. He was the one pitching that stuff. And somebody said that. I mean, we talked about that a year ago or so. Somebody said it. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. He had them practicing in the desert. Yeah. A lot of people did though. Yeah, a lot of people did. And I've said this. It wasn't really like. Didn't really see it in junior high. We didn't practice that long, I don't think, because I don't even like because we had to go back into school to get drinks, but it didn't seem like they didn't care if we got drinks and stuff. But surely in high school, that first year, it was, you were soft if you wanted to drink. And then a boy died and they started easing up. By my senior year, they had water the whole time we practiced until it got cold. And that's how it should be. And then I go to college and it's hotter and they're not doing this. And, I suffered somewhat. I suffered because they were dehydrating me. Because, like, we would start practicing, you couldn't get a drink until, these certain periods of practice. I think they gave us drinks like, 3 times, and we practiced in 2 hours. Not much as you need to hold to cool your body down. And luckily, nobody ever fell out. But it was like, they just ignorant, ignorant of the science at that time was telling you, and that's kind of where, even the trainers was not on our sides. Because it's like, why didn't the train, like one of our trainers was a world-class trainer. He was in the Olympics and everything. And it's like, why wasn't he telling them we need to hydrate more often or have constant flow of hydration? Just set up a horse and just put hoses on it. And whenever we need water, we can go over there and get it. When it's 100 out and you waiting to just give us Gatorade, come on. A little glass like this. I thought that was abuse. And it definitely was abuse. It was abuse of, they were ignorant of our health and well-being. So, yeah. How long have I been going? I'm not going on as long as I did yesterday. Yeah, it used to be like that. Can't say I remember my dad being that hard. The program he coached at with the high school. Yeah, I don't ever remember him being that hard. I remember, giving the salt pills. And I think that's what they would do. They would still have the water out there, have a cooler out there and have water. But I remember my dad in high school making Gatorade for games. And they would give him Gatorade for games. The old Gatorade that came in the powder packs. Used to come in a big pack of powder, and they say Gatorade. Like, like a flour thing, or not really flour, but like a pack of it, like a bag pack. And it was Gatorade. And that shit at first was really nasty. It tastes like them salt tablets. That's how bad it used to taste. It tastes like the salt tablets. That shit. And they had like, this is funny. Now I think about it. From the time I first tasted it till the time they gave it to me at A&T, they had changed the taste by then. It wasn't sweet, but it wasn't as like a salt pill. It tasted not as like a salt pill tasted. It didn't taste as much. So I just thought about that. They changed it even then. And then by the time he was saying, by the time Mr. Two used, like he said, when they used to be in the bottles, this shit had sugar in it. They sweetened that stuff up. It wasn't near the stuff you used to get that had that, And the only time you really taste it, like the way it used to do is when they put the sucrose. If you get the sucrose kind, you get a little more of that salty taste when they mix sucrose instead of sugar, I think. The sucrose makes it taste more like the old way it used to taste. I get more, because sucrose to me, it has such a strong aftertaste. It's hard for me to differentiate, but because it doesn't, sucrose, I don't find it sweet. I just don't find it sweet. I'm revolted by that aftertaste. That aftertaste is too much. It's like I really don't care. I can't say that. I don't mind IPAs. If I go out to a place that's all they got, I don't mind it. I'll drink the IPA, but it's not my favorite. Where it's that bitter, it's that just, instead of having ambrosia, you just have that bitter. So, but yeah, it's amazing that how I went from them having the information, because Western Michigan, I know they was like that because I went to a couple of their practices. They had free water in their practices too. I remember that. I just thought about that too. And so it was just A&T was behind, and the trainers didn't back the players. like they should have. The trainers should have backed the players, and the trainers didn't. Stone Age, back in the Stone Age. It's like I used to eat breakfast before the games. What I would do is because I really didn't like steak. And so I would go eat breakfast at home games. I used to hate away games because I was forced to eat steak and potatoes at 8, 9 in the morning. Because most away games we played, except when we played in the Gator Bowl against Bethune-Cookman, was early games. Most of the games we played was early games, 1 o'clock games. So that mean, you waking up 7, 8, eating breakfast, getting taped. It's all that. We'd have suits and shit. Like we'd have our suit pants and vests and shirts on to go eat breakfast. But at the same time, after we get done eating breakfast, we straight going to get taped. Because there's not enough room wherever the stadium we was playing. So we'd have to get taped at the hotel, one of the ballrooms and shit like that, So that was some old time stuff. Who's been into the what do you call them, the whirlpools, where you're in the whirlpool in your knees and shit. And I know I've talked about this before, but do y'all remember those kind of whirlpools? Like the whirlpools where you're on your knees, and you could get it hot. You could make it hot. You can make it cold or hot, and you literally are just on your knees, sitting on your knees in the whirlpool like this. You're not sitting back. You're literally on your knees with your arms on the sides like this. And it's comfortable enough. It's comfortable enough, and you can kind of lean down. But do you guys remember those kind? It's like I saved one dude's life. He fell asleep doing that. He was on his knees, and he fell asleep, and motherfucker was like, damn, this nigga was old, too. It was Cleo. I think when I was a freshman, this nigga might have been 30. No, I don't know. He probably wasn't that old. He's probably 25 or 26 for sure. But anyway, that nigga fell asleep. I was heard him snoring, and next thing I heard, I'm hearing like the gargling in the water and shit. I'm like, God damn, I had to jump up and like, damn, man, you all right? He's like, oh. I'm like, man, you all right? He's like, yeah, thanks, man. He fell asleep, started to drown in the water. Because literally we're on our knees, and I'm just looking at him. He's like, and then he just like dunked in the water. That dude had some big old Earl Campbell legs. He had a bunch of deep, long runs, played fullback and had him quick dives. They be in cover zero and shit, no safety back, everybody on the line. And you have a quick dive, that shit bust through. So, but do y'all remember those? And then they had the big ones, but it was like, try to remember how the big ones was. I don't remember at A&T them having one I could sit in. I don't remember them ever having one I could sit in. Trying to think, did they have a big one? Don't ever remember them having one I could sit in. So that just tells you how old the shit was. Hell, they just had pro wrap. When I was in high school, it was shave I don't have hair around my ankles because in high school in 10th grade, they made us tape our ankles and then shave. We had to shave the hair off our legs because, they taped our ankles every day. A&T, it's pro wrap, so you didn't have to do that shit. But still, I don't have hair around my ankles still to this day. And that's a real story. Still don't have, and in college, I used to get my shoes taped because I didn't like that shit. I didn't like that shit on my ankles like that. And the tape gets loose with the pro wrap, so it's better just to get your shoe taped, and the tape didn't get as loose. So that's what I used to do. And in the NFL and pro level, you have to do it. You have to have your ankles taped. It's like you see the linemen with the knee braces. They have to have them braces because that's that ligament damage. That's the damage that them linemen would get. So that's why if you look, most linemen, they got that hinge steel, brace, because those are the type of injuries that those guys get. And so now they wear the braces already to stop from, to have support because of the type of, and now, there's not a lot of low blocking hardly like there used to be. So a lot of that is out. Those kind of techniques that would get people hurt, but still, still got to move. I hope everybody feels good. I mean, it's Monday. You know how people feel about Mondays. It's funny when you don't work. The days is just the days. It's like you have to ask, and it's like the only reason the day has meaning is because of schedules. You know, it's just doing schedules and shit. So, you know, I don't know. I'm like the most joyful I've been in my life. You know, we're getting married within 2 weeks. You know, it's the countdown is coming like next week, and then you know, it's the countdown is coming. And you know, this week, if you guys having Halloween parties, you know, Halloween is coming. So those of you that are having Halloween parties, have fun with it. It's interesting energy, you know, this time of year. It's also the day like some people, you know, a Day of the Dead type of celebration. So the energies that come in, I guess the best way I could say it is like this, like one thing of this type of year for those of you that are into kind of ancestor relationships. Um, and in ancestor relationships, this is a perfect time of year for those type of communications. So if you have, you know, altar of ancestors, great time of year to put the candy down if they like something. Like with Jimi Hendrix, he's up here. I know you can't see it, but it's like every now and then I'll get some raw tobacco or I'll get some cigarettes and I put it up in there because he's inside of my amethyst cave. You know, when I need cave energies, I've got to, you know, Jimmy has the ultimate universal sound. So that's why I put him in the cave to put out that vibration. And so I give him things that he enjoyed when he was around. So I put cigarettes up there and tobacco, which things that he enjoyed. So to get part of hearing that universal sound. But this is a great time for that kind of thing. So for those of you that participate as much, it is certain energies that do open up. And it is I guess it's just, you know, whatever your practice is. I guess that's what it is. And I'm not trying to sway people one way or another, but I'm just saying if that's your thing, this is a good time for that. It's like, you know, with the crystals and stuff, I'm not trying to sell you crystals, but I'm just showing you things that you could benefit from. That's all. And I only say this out of me benefiting from it. That's what it comes from. It comes from how I tell you how I've benefited from without me having to sell you something. You dig? Without me having to say, well, you know, this apophyllite is really good. And this shit was blowing my mind. I was sitting there holding it, man, and we was astro traveling, you know, and we was just going to space and shit, you know, and you can have one just like it for $15.95. I don't do that. And to me, that would come off disingenuous. You dig? Now, yes, I know people that have crystals, but people probably around you got them too. So, you know, why would you need me? Now, of course, you know, it's sometimes there's certain amounts and, you know, I might have a line on, might see somewhere where it's worth me buying a lot of crystals one time and helping somebody out, you know, selling. But for the most part, you know, I don't really have to hustle them. You know, I just work with all these things. I work with the sounds, you know, the tuning forks, the bowls, all this stuff. I work with this stuff, you know, all this stuff around me. You know, I work with these things. And this is part of my practice and participation. Like right now, I'm finishing up this roll of books. Most of my new books are up here. So I've got two I'm reading them right now. So I'm about to knock all these books down before I get more. Knock these down first. And reading is a good thing to keep your mind cognitive, you know, that type of thinking. Your cognitive thinking, that's not how you cognitive, but that type of thinking, you know, you have to, and get deep sleep. That's one thing this thing shows is how much deep sleep you're getting. That seems to be a part also, is are you getting enough deep sleep? That seems to be another part of Alzheimer's and stuff. And so, you know, when we rob ourselves of staying up, I know last night I probably didn't get any deep sleep at all. Just because it was so late, I got done in here and was messing around, and I ended up sleeping in here. And so I know I probably didn't get any deep sleep. It feels like I don't sleep, but I know I got a little bit. And it gets really light in here too. Well, the sun comes up that way, but just the way it gets light, this room lights up really quick. And it gets really hot. Like now, I feel comfortable and not hot. Oh. Oh, let me show y'all this shit. I'm gonna throw this shit on watch. Excuse me. Give me a chance to stand up. Give me a stand up. Let me throw this shit on and show you this shit. Oh man, look at this shit. I mean, look at this shit. Maybe this is the shit they wore last year. I don't know, but this shit looks good. That fucking Nike. Look at the NFL Nike. It feels like it's probably waterproof. Look at this shit. Nike though. Nigga stiff. I ain't gonna keep it on long. This shit's hot. And I don't know, I be like, the way I look at clothes and stuff, I try to buy clothes that don't nobody have, that's how I look at stuff. I try to get stuff that people don't have, I don't try to dress like everybody else. Yeah, I don't, I try to do my own thing. I feel confident in my own style, and I've been consistently like that my whole life. Shit, and I pull women, be like, shit, like, you dress like this every day? I'm like, yeah, I can hang with you. All right. Well, I can hang with you. Okay. But like this, jerseys, sweats, hats, I ain't ashamed of being bald. I've been bald again. When I was a little boy, I was bald till the afro time came. So being bald felt natural to me. So I just like wearing hats, that's all. I take them off when I turn off. I wear them outside, though. You should wear a hat outside. I'm going to just say that. You should wear a hat outside. That tinfoil shit has something to it where they say, that they're trying to tell you, you should cover your head. Your ancestors tell you that. That when you go outside, you should cover the crown. That's just, that's why they wore hats. Because, the way energy is. And the way persuasion and the way other energies. A hat is kind of a little like the tin foil. It protects the crown. So that's why you rarely catch me outside without a hat. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to storm. Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. And I've still held out of getting the new iPhone. I don't want to get the first batch of these new iPhones. I don't. I want to get the second batch that's supposed to come out around Christmas. I don't want to get the ones that's out now. Them phones is burning in the screens, overheating. It's like, yeah, I ain't in a hurry. Yeah, we're supposed to get a storm, I think, tomorrow. Let me check this out. It's supposed to be 70 tomorrow here. Because it was 64, 65. I was just in a jogger, I could have wore this today. What the fuck is the weather? Oh, here this shit is. Yeah, it's about to start raining now. Yeah, but in the next hour, we're going to get light rain. But, oh shit, it's going to rain all day tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to rain all day. Damn. Yeah, tomorrow it is going to rain all day. It's going to rain this morning, stop until noon, and from noon to midnight, rain. So, rainy day. I ain't really got shit to do. But get high and meditate. See, I live like a monk. I just get high and meditate. Being this motherfucker here, taking off. Hit the bong and then hit the gong. Bong. Hit the gong and shit and create my own sacred ball field to play with the ancestors within the dimensions. so so I'm gonna cool out. I love storms too. Storms is a great time to meditate. I mean, I'm a storm energy too. Storms is a great. Well, I'm a water element sign, but I'm connected to the storm too. So, that's why I call this just God. You don't know if he's got back from the storm or he's going to the storm. This is the storm rider. Shine him up good, going through my neighborhood. Shine him up good, going through my neighborhood. Yeah. Storm rider. Jimi Hendrix said, I just came back today. I just came back from the storm. Doo-doom, 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 doo. You gotta look that one up if you ain't hip to that one on Jimmy. Well, I ain't really got too much more. I'm just kind of talking in circles. You got me going in circles. Do, 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 do. Oh, round. Oh, shit. That shit used to be so, motherfuckers trying to harmonize and sing. And now people want to just come and have a gun party, I guess. Like what I showed you earlier with the young men from here. They just wanted to have a gun party. They invited a bunch of niggas and say, all niggas and your guns. Even your women, bring your guns. If you got, well, they probably wasn't no babies there, but it's like guns in the purse, guns under the couch, over the couch, in the box. So just guns everywhere. It's a gun bonanza, There was bonanza of guns. Back when I was younger, we just wanted to, be in the basement with some music and a girl to, have her follow us. Baby, come close. Put your hand on mine. Slow dances is when they follow you. So they say you take the lead. And we got a whole generation of people that ain't even really used to taking the lead like that. And that's what pimping is, really is just taking the lead. Got nothing to do with slavery or selling people. It's more than that. It ain't just that small bit of it. It's so much more. And it's having someone follow you. And the thrill of what it was at the old time was, having somebody you didn't know. Say you see somebody you don't even know, and you get her to follow you for 7-8 minutes or however long the song is. Do you dig that human connection? Because, like women can slow dance, like they like, okay, this nigga dance like this. I mean, really, women can adapt. And once women would see how you dance, they're like, okay, I can do that, what you do. You two-stepping, okay, I can two-step with you. You dig? That's how it used to be. They're like, okay, what do you do? And then they catch what how you doing it, and they follow you. And that's the pimping part is having someone follow you. That's all. And I ain't saying taking advantage of anybody. I'm not. No. I'm just saying, that's part of being a man. Man leads. I mean, leads, his partner follows, but I definitely the one want to be through the door first. I want to face it first. I want to know what's going on. I don't want to trust somebody else that's saying, well, it's something up there. No, I want to see it first. I may react so differently to catch it. So, but like, I love wearing jerseys and stuff. I could wear this shit every day. I'm still trying to see how the jerseys has changed. I don't really think they've changed. I thought maybe they made the sale bigger, but I don't think so. I think they're the same. Trying to see did they make, because this is supposed to be the Vikings sale. If y'all didn't know that. That's the sale. But this is my $20 jersey. This is a stitched jersey. Yeah, that motherfucker's stitched. But my daughter wore hers the other day. She got the print, and their jerseys cost more than this one. And I bought this motherfucker. Was like, man, how much? Should have bought them all that was there. But this was the only stitch one they had. So, it's like I said, it's funny. It's gonna be funny how like when I go to the game, how many people are still wearing the Cook jerseys. It was like, this is a true story. Now they're selling them Garnett jerseys, a couple $100. When he came back when he came back the second time, they made a bunch of them jerseys and they end up going to like Goodwill places. And I remember I had the black one and the dark green one and the white one. $5. At brand new. These was brand new jerseys. I'm trying to think who made them back then. I don't think they was Champions. And I had them for years. And now you see them, people trying to sell them on the internet. They're like, wait a minute, I know y'all got them like I got them. So. And then the Rat Finks that stole my Michael Vick. I get a Brett Favre Vikings starter jersey in the stash. Oh, bet. Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah, that's what, Favre had it. And then Cook had it. And now the receiver's wearing it. That one receiver, he's wearing it. The one dude who had a good game was number 3. And then number 4 was one of the other receivers. Did y'all see where the one dude was wearing the mask too? I'm like, how niggerish you got to be? He's wearing what do you call it? P. Shiesty mask during the game. Did y'all catch that? It was the Viking receiver. Maybe it was number 4 or the other receiver. Yeah, but because number 3 went out. A new receiver came in, and when he came in, he caught a pass. And that dude had a P. Shiesty. He had a thing that was all the way up to here on him. So I'm pretty sure it's them kind of, winter mask little things. I'm like, why? Why would you need that? Why would you possibly need that and you in an indoor stadium? That's just some nigga shit. How like the teammates look at him was like, well, that's Marv, or his name is probably. See, I'm gonna just keep it smooth. That's just Junior. Let's just say Junior. That's Junior over there, and Junior likes that kind of thing, and he feels smooth. If you wore it every day during training camp and everything, I guess they just get used to you wearing it, huh? Don't know why you would need it when it's really hot in training camp. You'd want something all the way up to here on your face, but you never know. Some people is different. All right, my final word. I guess I'll make that a segment. The final word is, as I said, I don't try to influence anyone any particular way. If it ever sounds like, I don't ever try to push out hate. It's more frustration. It's really frustration because I'm empathic and I know what the people did and felt and what certain people went through. And so when you study these kind of things, it makes you have impressions, your own impressions of how you feel. And so you have to be true to how you feel on what you study and you see. And as I started saying, you can't give in to the propaganda. You can't, be the hive mind, think like everybody else. And that's what I applaud today. Everybody's like, you're attacking melanated people, and it's about time you stop. And that tells, and it encourages a person to like me to know that even though both sides, again, it's a both side thing, but what the local. It is raining like a motherfucker. I'm hearing the storm come in. Yeah, this storm is like raining. It's coming. I hear it. Unless it's the heat came on. Unless the heat came on. I don't know. If something was loud. Maybe it was just the heat kicking on. I don't know. Because all deaths are fucked up, especially deaths fighting. Yeah, it's raining like a motherfucker. Like hard rain. Yeah, it's raining like a motherfucker. Like hard rain like a motherfucker. Yeah, I ain't really got shit to do tomorrow. So I'm probably not going to do shit. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do too much in the rain. I don't have nothing to do tomorrow. Oh, let me tell you, I had chiropractor, acupuncture, and whatever I did when I hurt my back this time, I hurt this side over here on my right. This is my right. I don't know if to you it's looking a little different. Boy, he put them pins in that side. It's like, ooh, I could just feel the pressure releasing because they put it in a way that it moves energy, and so it felt good. It really did. I feel rejuvenated. Got adjustment, got acupuncture, so I feel really rejuvenated today. Haven't re-hurt my back, which we'll see how long that's going, but my arms still, I'm gonna have to have therapy for it. I just can't hit hard. Just can't hit very hard. Yeah, that's tough. So gonna have to get some strengthening in that. It ain't like you see that when I got you. I'm jabbing you hard all day. This one not so hard. Not so hard. It's pitiful. I'm like, look at this old man. He can't even bend his arm back and forth. Yeah, I got some stingers too. Oh, and have fun. Whatever you guys are doing, have fun in your life. If you're not having fun in your life and you don't find joy, what is it about? If you can't just laugh and laugh at yourself, or, you got to get your ego out the way and just like, man, I'm just do some silly shit sometime and I'm glad nobody else saw it. And that's how life should really be. What Richard Pryor called it, have fun and plenty of it. And fun comes, to so many different ways to so many different people. It's not one way to have fun. There's so many different kind of ways to enjoy yourself. And when people say, that you love your job and that's fun to you, and you find joy through the work you do, I mean, I guess this is maybe something everybody can relate to, and it's just like those that know how to roller skate. And it's just a time where you just roller skating and, you just kind of lost in the skating and stuff. And that's the same way where, someone that just plays pickup ball will just go to the gym and just play pickup ball. And you get lost into, the sacredness of the ball game. In the same way with the skating. You get lost in the sacredness of the ball game. Because the wheels are still like the balls. It's still athletically moving through a created ball field. Because a skating rink is nothing but another type of ball field. I mean, where do the Indians do? The end of the flower moon, it was funny, they were showing you the all-seeing eye, but they're also showing the where they, when they do their powwow, they go in a circle. Because that's the way the energy moves. That's the energy they're trying to generate. But also, you could see he was all-seeing eye, too. It's Marduk, like motherfucker, like, hey, I still got it. And what's fucked up about Killer of the Flower Moon is this Napoleon movie is going to be good. I already know. That Napoleon movie is going to be good, is going to be super. I'm stoked to see that shit. I'm a history guy, and that Napoleon movie looks good. But look up Josephine, and I was saying the other night they called Napoleon. One dude called him a red demon. Yeah, I ran across. Golly, I need to look that up again. I know Meredith Quinn, who wrote the Time Walking Papers, he called Napoleon a demon, which is interesting. He called him a little red demon, specific kind of demon. He called Napoleon a demon. That was interesting that he made that kind of on Napoleon. And, Napoleon was considered swarthy. We know his woman was considered swarthy, so we know a lot of how they whitewash history. But I think it's going to be a good movie. Again, it's going to be beautifully shot in all these different locations of the different wars and places he went to. They're going to give you a look at how Marie Antoinette and King Louis were killed off with the head. I think if you saw one of the previews, they show Marie Antoinette when she gets her head cut off. And I don't know if any of you guys watched the movie with Christine Dunn when she played Marie Antoinette. That was kind of a good movie. Ross Pierre, what was that? The black and white movie? I mean, that was an interesting time where really the rich people got killed, or the nobility people got killed. That's what happened. And when King George tried to bring in the Haitians, Napoleon refused to attack his people. He fought the Haitians instead of attack. See, the government let loose the Haitians on the people, and Napoleon refused to attack the people too. So he attacked the Haitians. And so that's kind of how the people got help. So, because the dude, I think Ross Pierre was the dude that, wanted to kill all the nobility. And that's the only time in history they ever really did that. So, well, 2 hours is good enough. Thank you for coming in. At least I'm getting a consistent amount of people to come in. I appreciate that. But, feel good about who you are. Feel good about who you are. What you do, feel good about what you do. Don't let people take your power. Don't let people take your joy. Keep your joy close to you. It's okay to share it. Make sure you share it with the right people. And you know what were they called? Brass construction. They said, do it till you're satisfied. Whatever it is. But yes, do it till you're satisfied. And that's the best way to do it. Because remember,
limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Every time I'm seen, I got to be clean. Well, y'all, this is all the philosophizing I got. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Those of you catch it on the replay, I appreciate it because people keep watching it. And I appreciate it. I don't come on Tuesday nights. Tuesday is my night off. I might do one if it rains real hard tomorrow afternoon. I ain't going nowhere. I might do some shit, but I doubt it. So have a good Tuesday. Look for me maybe Thursday. I got to do a show Wednesday to get my picks in. I should get my picks in now. No, I'll do a show Wednesday just to get my picks in for a Thursday game. But the NBA starts tomorrow too. Well, we're gonna have to start doing the picks there eventually. I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot. Getting the NBA picks is a lot. So I don't know if I want to get into all that. So I might just stick with football and college football. So no post basketball coverage. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because Tuesday night, tomorrow night, the NBA starts. Now, I love the split screen now. The split screen is great because I'm going to watch some NBA, but I'm watching that World Series too. You bet that. I'm watching the World Series. So Wednesday too. Yeah, Wednesday, I think it'd be on ESPN. Tomorrow is TNT, TBS, I think tomorrow. So you enjoy that. Thank you for coming, hanging out late. Hope I gave positive vibes.